News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 98.3 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A Missoula man already in custody for assault, charged with sexual intercourse without consent. Good morning, everyone. Montana Morning for Thursday, April 27, 2017. Skies cloudy. We're expecting some rain, maybe some snow. Right now it's cloudy and 37 degrees in Missoula. Newscast this morning sponsored by Dig It Excavating. They've got all your excavation needs at one phone call, 214-4292. They bring 30 years of excellence to every job. Missoula police charging 33-year-old Randall James Everybody Talks About with sexual intercourse without consent after a woman reported being attacked. Missoula Police Public Information Officer Travis Welsh says the report came in Tuesday afternoon.
An adult female reported having been the victim of a sexual assault that included sexual intercourse without consent that had occurred in a local motel in the 1400 block of West Broadway last Friday in the early afternoon.
The suspect was easy for police to find as he was already in custody.
The suspect was being held at the time for a probation violation in our local jail.
Before the sexual assault was reported, police had already arrested Everybody Talks About for a parole violation springing from a past assault with a weapons charge. The new charge of sexual intercourse without consent was added, along with a charge of partner or family member assault, and he will be appearing in Missoula Justice Court later today. Members of the Blackfeet Indian tribe have voted overwhelmingly to approve a water compact that quantifies the tribe's water rights and confirms its jurisdiction over those rights on the reservation near Glacier Park. The tribe voted yesterday to approve the water rights agreement with Montana and the United States after more than 30 years of negotiations. The compact passed the Montana legislature in 2009 and received congressional approval late last year. It will provide the tribe with $471 million for water-related projects, including new or improved irrigation systems, the development of community water systems, and land acquisition. Tribal officials say projects in areas of the reservation that have lacked access to clean drinking water will be a top priority. Missoula's Hellgate High School made U.S. News and World Report's ranking of top high schools in the state this week and is one of only 2 AA schools to make the list. Missoula County School District 1 Superintendent Mark Thane praised the students.
We're really proud of the accomplishment of the Hellgate students and certainly the staff that supports them. Seeley Swan High School also achieved recognition from U.S. News and World Report, which is, of course, a smaller school in our district. The metric that U.S. News and World Report uses has changed somewhat over the course of the last couple of years, taking into account socioeconomic status and student performance in relation to socioeconomic status.
While Hellgate made the list as the 6th best high school in the state, local rivals Big Sky and Sentinel did not make the list. Thane was asked if the rankings simply prove that Hellgate High School is better than the others.
I would not say that necessarily. You know, we have the same essential curriculum offerings at all schools, and I think they're very comparable. I think that if you were to look at the metrics in the other schools, we have other schools that compare very favorably to Hellgate. As I said, you take in a diversity of data points when you make a comparison like this.
The rankings are based on a number of factors, including ACT scores and graduation rates. Gardner High School was first in the state, followed by Lone Peak High School, and just down the road in the Bitterroot, Stevensville High School came in third. Congratulations. Montana lawmakers are setting rules to automatically cut state spending if revenues slide in the future. The rules expected to pass yesterday are meant to prevent a budget shortfall while a newly created rainy day account accrues cash. The legislature earlier passed a $10.3 billion budget relying on a 2-year revenue forecast prepared by legislative analysts. The new rules say the cuts would begin if the revenue coming into the state falls below that estimate. Different cuts are triggered by different revenue levels. For example, if revenue comes in between $24 and $36 million below the forecast, the governor's office, the legislature, the Department of Public Health and Human Services, and other state agencies would automatically see cuts. Democratic Senator John Sesso calls it a contingency plan he hopes will not be needed. Former Montana Congressman Ryan Zinke's new job as Interior Secretary placed him front and center this week, as his agency has been tasked to enact President Trump's most recent executive order. The order gives Zinke 45 days to review some of the nation's national monuments. Zinke clarifies which ones are being considered.
Beginning date is January 1st, 1996, and the other condition is they have to be a total of 100,000 acres or more. That should include about 24 to 40 monuments. That gives you kind of a thumbnail. For the record, in the last 20 years in particular, that would cover about tens of millions of acres.
National monuments can be declared by presidents that do not have oversight by the Congress. Zinke says this may have led to negative impacts on those living near such monuments.
The administration has heard from members of Congress and states. In some cases, the designation of the monuments may have resulted in loss of jobs, reduced wages, and reduced public access. And in the case of significant public land use, we feel that the public, the people that the monuments affect, should be considered.
Nearly all the monuments being investigated are in the western United States, but only one is in Montana, namely the Upper Missouri River Breaks National Monument, which was created by Bill Clinton back in 2001. Montana lawmakers are also scaling back their so-called Ferrari tax on cars and recreational vehicles worth more than $150,000. The legislature originally called for taxing those luxury vehicles between 0.08% and 1% of the retail price, depending upon the age of the vehicle. The additional monies would be used to shore up a special revenue account used for road projects by the Department of Justice. However, a conference committee of legislators scaled back the tax yesterday after car and RV dealers objected. The measure would now add an $825 fee on top of regular motor vehicle registration costs for 10 years. Well, the unrelenting rain that's been visiting Missoula over the past few weeks has vastly increased the overall totals of water to the point that the region has reached near the top in moisture levels. Meteorologist Leanne Allegretto looked at the totals for the water year just before 11 o'clock yesterday morning.
As of about 11 a.m. this morning, we're at 3.33 inches, and that puts us solidly in the top 5 for wettest water year. And if we keep going at this rate, once we measure today and probably tomorrow with what we're expecting, we'll probably be at number 4, possibly even number 3.
Allegretto said increased rainfall poses no dangers yet for local rivers and streams.
Luckily, we started out fairly low. Stream flows were low, so they had quite a bit of ways to come up, through the winter and through this melt season. Now, we've had issues in the past month or so, but not frequent, and it's not an issue currently. But once the higher terrain snowpack starts to melt, if the snowmelt combines with persistent rain like this, that's when we expect problems, but we don't see that currently.
Allegretto said the Missoula area will experience more rain that could be mixed with light snow all the way to the valley floors both today and tomorrow. However, because surface temperatures are relatively warm, the roads will quickly clear and simply be bare and wet. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly cloudy to cloudy skies today with a wintry mix of rain and snow. High temperatures will be in the upper 40s. Winds will be breezy with wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour tonight. Showers likely, lows in the mid-30s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.